Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Matt.
Thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Oakland, California. Today, we're set for a good AFC matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the Oakland Raiders. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. First down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert. And down he goes, brought down a Raiders sack.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
Returning here is Wright. A big-time return there, 40 yards. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And he will find his man on the outside. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now Carr, he's got it to Williams. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these...
And he is in! Touchdown, Raiders! A 24-yard touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Yeah, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
And all the way down to the 29. A big run there by Johnson. 46 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now. First under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Shane Ray make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. Now Breeze. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shane Ray in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
We always talk about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on 3rd down. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
And now here come the Raiders. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
He'll have a 1st down past the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. A Raider 1st down, 17 yards. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Now they try the right side here. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this 1st quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage to make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
Keep it up. Mike's 47.
Here we go on 4th down with Carr. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. Throwing now is Carr. That's complete to his tight end, Waller. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Darren Waller, his 1st touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now the blitz coming, and down he goes. Cleveland Farrell in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Cleveland Farrell able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Breeze going to throw. And he's going to go down again. Max Crosby. The offensive line is in tatters as that's now 3 sacks in 3 plays.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Now it's Wright. Into the end zone. Oakland Raiders touchdown. This offense certainly looking a lot more comfortable here at home. They lost last week in the opener on the road, but there's something about that home opener makes you feel more settled.
Yeah, I wish we could quantify it, too, because you're playing the same game. The field's the same, size. We know all of that. But being at home, sometimes when you do things well, you get that extra push from your home fans, and it elevates your game.
And in the driver's seat right now. This is taken at his 4. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Now a play fake. Breeze. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Cleveland Farrell. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. Screenplay, Johnson. He finds an opening past the 40. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. 21-3 is your score after 1. He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or 2. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future All-Pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago. Really, it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
50 to Mike. 50 to Mike. That's right, baby. They don't want it. You got tape. You got tape.
Now they'll throw with Carr. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Xavier Howard with a good coverage that time as he was there and knocked it away.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
Solid gain of 18 and a Raider first down.
Watch your slap. Watch your slap. 734. Hey, no, look at that. Hey, we got Mike 50. Mike, hey, Alpha. 6 man. Check
From midfield, here's Carr. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. If this defense wants to stay in this ball game, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 27-yard line. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
Carr now 7 of 10 here in this first half, and he's got a 1st and 10.
Let him know, let him know. Watch the safety creep. He's checking, he's checking, he's checking. Crash, crash. Wait, no, wait.
And to give this time to the tailback. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. On first down, they go with Jacobs again. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Second and 5 now. Carr under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. 3rd touchdown pass now for Derek Carr. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
So that drive spans 13 plays, and it ends with an Oakland touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen.
Johnson, it's poke free. Football's out. And the Raiders pick it up. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
The throw complete here to Williams. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. That is caught inside the 5. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Make it 4 touchdown passes now for Derek Carr as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the route is on here in this first half. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Cleveland Farrell able to record his 5th sack of the season. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his 2nd week. And a pressure gets to him again. Max Crosby picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. On 3rd down, Johnson. And an alley to run. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a 1st down. Here's Breeze to throw. He finds his man, Johnson. Call it no gain there on the 1st down play. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. To throw again on 2nd down. Breeze, he gets this one to Johnson. A Miami 1st down on the 14-yard pickup. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts, as he'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Breeze now. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On 3rd down, it's Johnson. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. This is fielded at the 7. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, and they'll be aided by a loss of yardage on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout, as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Here's Carr. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Carr. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
47's the mic, boy. 47. Check, 47. So don't say nothing.
They do go for it. It's Carr. And able to catch it, but he's out of bounds. And the throw took him beyond the sideline, and that's going to be a turnover on downs. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. This one from 35 yards away. And the 11-year veteran bangs it through, and that will do it for this. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. The Oakland offense about ready to start this next drive. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the second half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is, don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Hey, wahoo!
Shotgun now for Carr. And that is incomplete. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I'm giving him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know?
Yeah.
The mental focus.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true.
47, check line 47. Pick it up, pick it up.
They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete. The 30. 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. A big play there. 84 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. That certainly went against the traditional ways of playing football, but who cares? Look at the result. Big touchdown.
They went for it on their own side of the 50. So there's conservative, there's aggressive, and there's really aggressive, which is what we just saw there. Tip of the cap to them.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Breeze. He gets it to Brown, complete. Past the 20, 10. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Jerron Brown. 78 yards. And the Dolphins gain a bit of respectability. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And nobody in the stadium feels better than he does right now. Just a slew of touchdown passes. He's been spectacular.
And you and I both know this is a team game, one of the best team games that's out there. But right now, I've forgotten what the scoreboard even says. Just watching what he's doing.
It's been fun.
That's been mesmerizing and a whole lot of fun to watch.
He's hoping to keep it going here in the 3rd quarter. 23 yards, the final tally. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Tight down. There you go.
They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Jacobs now. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It's a pickup of 4, but they're still a yard short here with 4th down, forthcoming.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
Carr going to go on 4th down. He's got his man. It's Williams. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They only needed a few inches, and they didn't get much more than that. But by about the width of a shoelace, they convert on 4th down. Carr now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Now a handoff working right. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. Carr. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They had enough yards for the first down, but a clutch hit right there defensively. Jars it free. No first down.
29.
They'll go for it. It's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you focus just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Breeze again here on 2nd and 10. Completes it to the tight end, Smythe. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Give the sack to Aaron Lynch, the former USF Bull.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop it.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A big play there. 84 yards as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And that touchdown reception is the 5th for him in this game, and that ties the NFL record.
And a record that's held up since 1950. This is another person that's tied it, but think about this. Bob Shaw said it in 1950. Kellen Winslow came along and tied it. And then, of course, Jerry Rice tied it as well. And finally, we're seeing it here one more time. Phenomenal.
Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side, you know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. From the gun, it's Brees. And he's going to go down again. Cleveland Farrell make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. A field flipper there, a 47-yard punt coupled with a loss on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. They were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Back to the air on second down. It's Carr. Oh, he's going to let this go for the... And this is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Darren Waller. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far as his guys continue to pour it on. And now it's blocked. That's a live ball scooped up by the offense.
Turnover, that's what we do. Other way, let's go.
So after the block PAT, they're ready to kick this one off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm?
There goes Duke Johnson. He's at the 30, 10, and all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Duke Johnson, his first touchdown of the new season. And it's for pride now, but the Dolphins get a bit closer. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, you know, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, you know, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now is dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams. Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Hey, 7:34. Raider 9. Hey, Charlie. Express.
Carr to throw again. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 20-yard line. What a difference a week makes. 5 interceptions in their last game. Here we are, fourth quarter. He's played mistake-free football.
And I'm sure that we can look back on the past week and say, okay, he spent time in the film room and they worked on his mechanics. Sometimes it's...
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Did you hear that? Do you hear that?
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And we focus on Duke Johnson now. On the other side, they've had trouble stopping him not only on the ground but through the air. He's hit the century mark running the ball. He's approaching that receiving it.
I'm starting to think, Brandon,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Here's Breeze. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Jonathan Abram picks it.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Joker. 47's the mic, boys. 47.
That is caught at the 7-yard line. No gain there on the completion. It'll be second down. A line of scrimmage once again, the 5 as they get ready for second and goal. Now Carr. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. First quarter, Charles, you really emphasized the importance of winning the turnover battle as a visiting team, as an underdog. They haven't forced a single turnover in this game.
And right now they're losing.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Foster Moreau, his first touchdown here of the new campaign as his guys continue to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
Out comes the Dolphin offense now as they get set to take over here.
95-56. 54. I'm coming.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And this will be caught by Brown. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down. Breeze now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Breeze now to throw. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Breeze. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cleveland Farrell has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Here's Breeze to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Cleveland Farrell in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been through.
Now a hit and a loose football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. 20. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. And that touchdown there, it's not going to get him a win. It makes things a little more respectable.
Yeah, a little more palatable going out in this ball game. A little something to build on going into the next game. But it won't alter the final score.
So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be fielded at the 8. And he's going to take this all the way down to the 40-yard line.
In just about every special teams meeting, there's a discussion with the punter about his importance. Why? He can flip the field for your team defensively, move it deep into their own territory, or if you're backed up on offense, and he can hit a big punt and change field position and help his defense. In this case, though, field position got flipped by the return team. You can do it so many different ways on special teams.
He's going to fire one. And this is taken in at the 5. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today. And I thought, a zinger or two? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out, and a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Carr going to throw here. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings them up 2nd and 10.
Tighten up, tighten up.
Throwing again. Carr is going to fire one deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way down to the 35. A big play that time for the Raiders. And even 40 yards. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Carr now to throw. And he's caught right at the 10-yard line. They'll get 34 yards there. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a...
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget.
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point put through by Succop as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's...
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Boy, the action just coming fast and furious right now. If you got up to go get a drink from the fridge, you picked the wrong time. 2 long touchdowns.
Yeah, and that's how you answer a one-play drive with a one-play drive of your own. And you're exactly right. If you step away from the action, my dad took me to a Major League Baseball game when I was 8. I needed to go to the bathroom. Of course, while we're in the bathroom, grand slam home run.
Well, it tends to happen that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, my dad still hasn't forgiven me.
Here we go. Here we go.
And out come the Dolphins now. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory, not a chance now.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. On play action, it's Breeze. And Jerron Brown's got it complete. He's at the 40, the 20, 10, and somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it. Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point, as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Through an opening, and there he goes. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. I tell you, Charles, you play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well in hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I'll guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And one of the whistles for a timeout. So they'll stop the clock here in a game that's been decided in the closing seconds. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down. Now Breeze. He's got the hook up to Jerron Brown. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. And now we're going to get a timeout. Somewhat pointlessly called with 3 seconds to go in a game that's already been decided. One final try here for Breeze. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on third down. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
Now one final throw here is incomplete, and that is how this one will come to an end. A big